And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Sunday, June 2nd, 2024. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you to a website with a map of the continental U.S., Hawaii, Alaska to the lower left. And if you point and click anywhere on this map, it'll give you a very specific forecast for anywhere in the country, along with any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. Well, the weather is certainly active across the nation's midsection on this Sunday afternoon. Numerous severe thunderstorm and even tornado watch in North Texas. These watches extend from the Dakotas all the way down through Texas, with severe weather ongoing as we record this particular video. Back to the southwest into California, areas of Arizona, Las Vegas, New Mexico. There are excessive heat watches or heat advisories with anticipation of some 100-degree heat coming up here in this week, and will really bring upon some stressors there as a result of the hot temperatures in the north. Some wet weather and windier conditions across parts of Montana, the northern Rockies, into eastern Washington state. Here in Alaska, we do have one advisory now in effect. The Fairbanks Weather Service office issued a winter weather advisory for some accumulating snow and a mix of precipitation in the central Brooks Range late tonight through early Tuesday morning. I'll highlight more of that in a second. Windy and cold Bering Strait down through along the west coast into the Aleutians. We have a late season batch of cold air that's going to push down across the Chukchi Sea through the Bering Strait and then all down along the eastern Bering and west coast. And that'll be with us here early in the week. There's a chance we could see some warmer ridging develop over northwest Canada that could eventually lead to some warmer temperatures, especially in through the Panhandle by mid-June, but nothing super notable here coming up, though I think it could be a little warmer in areas of the east central interior and northwest Canada, maybe around the 8th, 9th of June. But before then, nothing of any major consequence. And looking at where we have hazardous weather, we have this winter weather advisory that includes Anaktuvuk and Atigun passes. Elevations below 4,000 feet in this area could experience a couple inches of snow with a little mix of precipitation, including some freezing rain or sleet. Higher elevations above 4,000 or 5,000 feet could see as much as 4 to 6 inches of snow late tonight through early Tuesday morning. And then areas along parts of the central Arctic coast and here into the western half of the north slope along the spine of the Brooks Range, kind of a mix of precipitation and accumulating snow. Similar amounts will be possible because this cold air batch is going to be coming down across the northwest coast, the Chukchi Sea, and through the Bering Strait as we go through tonight and during the day on Monday. And fire danger, well, there are some higher areas. This is based on grass, the grass adjective, because grass is the best carrier of fire this time of year. So there's some very high fire danger, Yukon Flats along the Alcan border, also along the west coast. It has been breezy and drier there, but again, coming up here, there is going to be a really wet system fling some soaking rains along and south of the Alaska Range as we get through the day Wednesday, and then that moisture is going to cross over into the central interior for Thursday. So it's going to definitely dampen any threat of fire starts. Looking at the satellite imagery, we have a couple of different things going on. We have a low pressure. This one here continues to have produced some rain around Kodiak and Kodiak City. As a result, there's been some pretty wet conditions, rainfall amounts 1 to as much as 3 inches along Kodiak Island expected through Monday evening. And then we have another weak area low pressure southwest of Haida Gwaii, and we have back out to the west. Just what's more interesting is this area up here. This is where that cold pool of air is. It's dropping southward through the Chukchi Sea, through the Bering Strait, and then it'll just ride down along the west side of the state in the eastern Bering and reinforce cooler air here across the eastern half of the Aleutians and lower Alaska Peninsula by the time we get into Tuesday, early Wednesday. So on the weather map today, there's kind of this frontal boundary that's sitting up there along the spine of the Brooks Range. The core of the coldest air is still up here in the Arctic Ocean, but it is heading southward. We have a thermal trough where Temperatures have warmed mid-upper 70s here in areas of the central eastern interior. As of mid-afternoon, Fort Yukon has been as warm as 78, with some scattered showers trying to pop up, even some isolated thunderstorms. Here comes the next low, but the low here just southeast of Kodiak Island will begin to loosen its grip there on Monday, but this is the next notable low that'll take a track northeastward up into the southeastern Gulf and bring a round of stronger winds to the southern panhandle on Tuesday, along with rain that'll overspread the panhandle, and then that rain is going to combine with an easterly wave and get this region here, the Copper River Basin, Wrangell, St. Elias Mountains, along and south of the Alaska Range, including the Kenai Peninsula and Anchorage Bowl, all getting some soaking rains in that time frame on Wednesday into Wednesday night, and then that moisture is going to cross up into the central interior. So late tonight, there is that low down around 976 millibars. That's a fairly strong low for early June. We just don't typically see systems quite that strong. Here comes that colder air southward early in the morning, and then by Monday afternoon, we find that batch of colder air pouring through the Bering Strait through St. Lawrence. Meanwhile, the low down at 976 here will be approaching the southeastern Gulf, with a thermal trough remaining across areas of the interior, northwest Canada, where there will be scattered showers and some thunderstorms redevelop with the afternoon and evening heating. Then on Tuesday, here is that low wrapping up, coming up to about 987 millibars, but it will bring spreading rain across the panhandle, some stronger gustier winds, southern and outer coastal areas of the panhandle. And then that all kind of meets up with this easterly wave and works its way westward on Wednesday. So we have rather wet system to impact southern parts of the mainland here coming up by midweek. Temperature-wise, we're looking at lows above 40, mid-40s across the panhandle, generally low mid-40s for south central. Temperatures Monday afternoon, if you can get some sunshine, help push temperatures above 60, 63 perhaps at Skagway, upper 50s near 60 here in the southern panhandle, including Klawak and Craig. But to the west, Anchorage should get above 60, as will certainly Glen Allen and Talkeetna. And then for Tuesday morning lows, again, generally in the 40s across the entire region, and daytime highs with the rain and cloud cover, breezier conditions, mainly temperatures holding in the 50s. A few spots could squeak out 60 in the panhandle, but warmest readings on Tuesday will be, again, Copper River Basin around Gulkana on over toward Talkeetna. Temperatures in the upper 60s, maybe isolated 70-degree reading if the sunshine holds. Now looking at temperatures along the Arctic coast, north slope down in the west side of the Seward Peninsula all the way to St. Lawrence Island. Lows will be below freezing tonight in the mid-upper 20s. Areas of the Yukon and Tanana Valley staying above 40, lows upper 40s there at Fort Yukon. Temperatures again Monday afternoon will be back up in the 70s at Fort Yukon, Eagle, near 70 Fairbanks. Again, there could be some scattered showers or isolated thunderstorms redevelop with the daytime heating, and then temperatures will generally be near or just below freezing along the northwest coast from Utqiagvik all the way down through Shishmaref, Wales, and to Savunga. And then for Tuesday morning, we expect low temperatures to be as mild as 50, 52 at Fairbanks and Fort Yukon. But again, there's this cold air that's just kind of hugging along the spine of the Brooks Range and North Slope Arctic coast, extending down into the Seward Peninsula and even Imanak there, 31 for a low. Temperatures Tuesday afternoon, warmest way over on the east central areas of the state with, again, some 70s. But as we go westward, temperatures are going to struggle to get much above the freezing mark along the northwest coast, same areas from around Utqiagvik through Point Hope and down to Wales and Savunga. In the southwest, temperatures a little warmer here in the Kuskokwim Valley in the 40s. We expect lows low to mid 40s out along the Aleutians, but there is that colder air coming in from the north, brisk north winds, 36 high temperature Monday afternoon at St. Paul. We find some readings up near 60 along the west side of the Alaska Range at McGrath, and perhaps could see 62 there at King Salmon, but otherwise as we go into Tuesday morning, temperatures will be down near just below freezing along the lower Yukon, especially the coastline, and temperatures getting down into the 30s along the Aleutian chain, and then daytime highs on Tuesday afternoon Expect breezier, cooler conditions along the YK deltas with high temperatures probably not getting above 40 and also pushing some of that cooling inland a bit. But we expect highs down through the eastern Aleutians and lower Alaska Peninsula only in the lower 40s. And a quick check of the extended temperature outlook for June 8th through the 12th. We expect temperatures to average a bit above normal across the northern half of the mainland along and north of the Yukon River, and then temperatures to average below normal along the Gulf Coast, Alaska Peninsula, and maybe a little above normal in the southern portion of the Panhandle. What we're waiting for, and the potential exists beyond this time frame by the time we get around mid-month, June 15th, 16th, is a stronger, warmer ridge of high pressure could develop over northwest Canada that could include the Panhandle and then further nudge into the east central interior that could bring some of the warmest temperatures we've seen so far this season. But that just something to be aware of. It's not definite yet because it's a little beyond the medium range outlooks. But as far as precipitation, things are trending from June 8th through the 12th to be wetter across areas of the western mainland, across the south, again, areas around Cook Inlet, including the Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage down through Dillingham, Kodiak Island, and the Alaska Peninsula, but perhaps precipitation averaging a little below normal across the southern half of the Panhandle.